So listen, I don't think you should panic, but I don't think the Spurs are going to win anymore.
That is the sound bite of the century right now. I do not think the Spurs are going to win anymore. Wow. That okay. Listen. Clears throat, to react so intensely over a single game. And I've already done a deep dive and I broke down this game on the basketball channel, JWL Hoops. Definitely, please check it out. I go through film, go through the breakdown, have all those discussions about what the Spurs did right, what the Spurs did wrong, etc. etc. Also have breakdowns for the Minnesota Timberwolves as well, went through the film, all that type of stuff. Great videos. Definitely, please check out that channel for the more extensive deep dive into this, but I came across this little soundbite right here and it was just such a like, do we not understand that there's a reason why these games are 7-game series? Do we not understand? And it's so funny because Nick clearly does not want Wembanyama and the Spurs to be great. Does not want them to be special. Like that he's felt that way from the jump. He's felt that way from the jump. And it's just crazy to me. Like how you can watch that game and then just automatically your conclusion is the series is over essentially. It's done. Nope. It's done. And it's like wait what? And a lot of this is because people downplayed who the Minnesota Timberwolves were. They thought that they had zero chance at beating Denver. And then when they beat Denver, you're like well now this is actually lucky for the Spurs they knocked them out. And now it's like well actually no matter what the Spurs were always going to lose. They weren't going to beat the Nuggets. They're not going to beat the Timberwolves. They're not going to beat OKC. It's just done. It's over. Wash your hands with it. And it's just like do we forget why is it every year we forget that this is a 7-game series? Why do we do that? Why is it that every single year we forget that the basketball playoffs that the NBA playoffs the ones that involve players like LeBron and Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Jordan that it's a series that you have to win multiple games that you play some games at home, you play some games on the road then you keep going back and forth like why do we forget that every year? Every single year we forget that. Every single year we treat every individual game as just the truth. This is the truth. This is the truth of the game. And it's like wait what? Like what are we doing here right now? I mean seriously. Like what are we like how has that worked out for the Celtics? How has that worked out for the Orlando Magic? How is that working? How did that work out for the Nuggets last year? Like how did that work out for the Raptors? The Rocket it's like we always take one singular game and say like this is the truth of the series. Like this is the game. This is how it goes. And it's like wait what? And you know what's really funny? This is so perfect. I love when I have a take and it ends up just being so accurate. And it's like it's not that it's an accurate prediction necessarily but it just perfectly overlaps with the narrative. I said this months ago, well before the playoffs started. I said that in a 7-game series a team like the San Antonio Spurs are more equipped to win than if this was like a March Madness style type thing where it's just, single elimination. That's what I said. I wouldn't know I won't be able to find the video. It's like, I made a million videos. I don't remember which video I said it in because it was I just said it throughout the course of like a random Spurs breakdown. And I said, it's clear to me the way how this team operates that and the way how these playoffs are going to operate that in a single game playoff structure it's like would I be able to say with my chest that I think the Spurs are going to the finals blah blah. It's like I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. But in a 7-game series game on. And so that's where we're at. And I think this is an overcorrection of people doubting who the Minnesota Timberwolves are and just wanting to so desperately just don't want Wembanyama and the Spurs to be great. Like it's so interesting to me too because I consider myself a general fan. I consider myself someone who's like pretty much in touch with the mass fan experience. But obviously like I'm more dialed in than the average fan, you know. So I'm not a casual. But like, you know, I'm a man of the people, okay? I'm a man of the people. And so like I understand when the Patriots got good again, people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Right? When the Chiefs keep winning, it's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like we can't have this. Right? Like there's like that feeling. And if it was the Lakers, like the masses outside of LeBron fans, like they weren't like, I hope LeBron wins with the Lakers. Like they don't want that. They don't want that to be a thing. I did not think there was a sense of like if the Spurs get great again. Like I know there was a sense when Wembanyama first got drafted. There was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like there was a sense of like that's not fair. Now the Spurs can be great again. But not at the level of like the feeling of like, oh my gosh. Now the Patriots they have their coach and quarterback for the next 10 plus years. Right? Like are you kidding? Right? Like are you kidding me? But that's where I'm seeing some of that pushback of just like this angst about the Spurs. But I never found the Spurs to be that team that was just like let's hate on them or like, oh my gosh, I don't want to see them win. Like they played such awesome basketball and they didn't really have a lot of personalities that you like hated. And listen, I'm going to be totally honest. I'm not a big fan of Pop in terms of how he addressed the media and talked to people. I didn't like his personality. He's obviously a brilliant elite coach. But I always thought him and Bill Belichick were perfect examples of where the leagues need to step in and say, you need to answer questions. You need to stop being so, you know, dismissive and confrontational. Like this is part of your job. I know you don't like it. This is part of it. You have to invite the fans that when you're talking to the media, you're talking to the fans. You have to invite the fans in. Like that's how this works, okay? And I always thought like they were perfect representations of like just stop. Dude, like you're in such a position of power. I understand you don't like it. I understand you keep getting the same questions asked to you over and over again. Cry me a river. You get paid tens of millions of dollars and live an insanely, you know, fortunate life. So that's that. So I'm not even out here telling you that I just love everything about the Spurs and they're my favorite team and they're the best blah blah. Like I'm not even coming from that place at all. But it's just like I never are. It never landed on me that the Spurs were a team that you would love to hate or something like that. Like the Lakers, like the Patriots, like the Chiefs, etc. etc. But I'm like and I don't even see that with the fans. Like I sense that with some like media member. Like I'm still trying to wrestle with it, honestly. I really am. And again, the Minnesota Timberwolves can absolutely win this series because they are a great team. They are an awesome team and they are incredibly experienced. They are incredibly experienced. And I've been on that train earlier. I was on that train a couple years ago, really. Back when I was making all my basketball videos on the football channel. Then I realized that this just is going to become a football channel. And so now I still like to post some basketball videos on here just to try to get, you know, some synergy going. But that's why I like this conversation here. To me is more about like thoughts and feelings and a misunderstanding of how the playoffs operate and who each opponent is. And so yeah, I'm so excited to see how this actually unfolds. Again, I want to be very clear to Spurs fans, like I believe in how special the Timberwolves are. Like they are an incredibly well-coached, experienced team. And that's why I did the breakdowns on both teams. And really, the way how the breakdown the separate film, the way how it worked was really like pointing out a lot of the mistakes that the Spurs made and a lot of the correct decisions and hustle plays that the Timberwolves made. I want to keep saying Vikings. The Timberwolves made. And it was to me it was very clear. It was a line right down the middle. Everything that was right, everything that was wrong. And you could just stack way more things in the Timberwolves than the Spurs. And so it's like, yeah, they absolutely can lose this series. But you can't watch that game and then just automatically reach the conclusion that Nick Wright just made. Like that to me is just crazy. And that's getting lost in a singular game. That's getting lost in a singular game. So, game 2 is going to be a big one. It's going to be not only a necessary like bounce back game, but it's like to me it's not even about just win but obviously you need to win. Obviously it's the playoffs. Every win matters and any time you drop a game that can have devastating consequences. But it's about this team continuing to evolve. And that's why I kept saying like the motto is we win, we learn, we win. We learn, we win. We learn, we win. That is where this team is at. We learn, we win. We learn, we win. And this team has continued to learn throughout the course of every single playoff game. And so that's why I'm incredibly excited to see what their approach is and how they attack this next game because it's not a matter of just winning. They could win this game and Minnesota Timberwolves could be totally cold or though the Spurs could be incredibly hot and shoot 50% from 3. They're just knocking down everything. And it's like, yeah, that'd be great. But it's like I want to see like the higher quality execution. I want to see them actually make the right plays at the right time. I want to see them appropriately involve Wembanyama and stop just giving him the ball on an island or just not giving him the ball at all. And now the offense kind of just stays stagnant. So, we are going to learn a lot. Like if anything, watching this second game and seeing how that game unfolds, that now you can start to get a lot closer to the conclusion of the Spurs are never winning or whatever it was, but oh, brother. Yeah. That's why basketball really is so that's why playoffs for basketball so great and can be so underrated. I feel like if you're so obsessed and so dialed into football, you almost like it's a little bit harder for you to understand just how great a 7-game series is. Because when you really know basketball, you really understand it, when you're really locked in, it's like you really are in a way watching like a 7-game series between the Chiefs and the Bills, the Eagles and the Chiefs or something. Like it's just there's so much more going on. There's so much more going on. And then especially when you get to the final like 5, 6 minutes or so in the fourth quarter and it just every single possession matters. Like it really does kind of turn into football. Like every possession matters. Every possession matters. So, honestly the NBA playoffs are some of it's just some of the best sporting events around. When you look at sports as a whole, like the playoffs for basketball when you're talking about 2 great teams, 2 awesome teams. That's what they even said on the broadcast the whole time. He kept saying, this is a heavyweight battle. This is a heavyweight battle. This is a heavyweight battle. And it really is. The names aren't as popular and as big as Kobe versus, whoever. LeBron versus Steph. Like like we associate that cause we're so obsessed with the face of the league, the face of the league. And Wembanyama is not there yet and apparently doesn't want it. And it's like doesn't always feel like heavyweights. Like Rudy Gobert just doesn't hit that hard, but it's great basketball. It's great basketball and great basketball. And I think it's been box office so far. So, if you're reaching very firm, strong conclusions after week 1, after game 1, I encourage you to just take a breath. Take a beat. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Antonio Spurs? Not winning. It's panic time. It's over. They're not winning. It's done. Game. Set, match. Wembanyama shouldn't even show up. No one should show up. Castle, none of them. Just over. It's done. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.